Hello everyone and welcome to the Captain's Video Weblog. We are January the 1st, 2016, and I'm fairly pissed. You know, I mean, I'm currently unfortunate here, and by the looks of it, you can see the catalog. It's not that bad, is it? There's always a lot of generals, but it's the first day of the year. Everyone wants to talk about a lot of things. I mean, earlier in the day there was a weird ERP thread. That was weird. That was the official francophone thread at midnight. I was there and I felt really happy to go there and just seeing all those people post in French, and because usually there's a French language thread at all times on int, but it's pretty cancerous because it's int. So anyway, I'm pretty pissed because I mean it hurts nobody, but everyone is so convinced that today is the third impact. I mean, it hurts no one, but when it was the third impact in Evangelion, reduced the Earth to kind of an irredeemable mess. You can do anything if you get out of the tank. What the fuck is that? Is that from Is that from someone is not okay with macros delta, and I mean I can understand it because there's a lot of CG, bad CG, and I won't vouch for that. You disappoint me, Satellite. I thought you were better than that. Oh, and look at that fucking shit here. You see those crosses? That's not okay. Because today is not instrumentality. Everyone takes 2 frames from Evangelion as, their source for today being third impact. First, it's in episode 26. It says, it was in 2016. And something else in end of Evangelion, when there's a monitor in a very important scene that says 2015 AD, which was last year. So the only way for it to be, to be coherent was for the third impact to happen around New Year's Day. Except it's not. I mean, I'm gonna close that because the more I watch it, the more I'm Shigeru Aoba, being surrounded by naked rays, and I don't want to be that kind of guy. I'm pissed, but I'm not that pissed because it's everything. It's fictional. It's nothing really. But yeah, when you watch Death, and that's probably the main point. People usually avoid Death because it's a clip show. It's a recap movie. It's 1 hour and 40 minutes maybe. Nah, probably not. But it's a little over an hour, and it's a recap of the series. So basically, people have seen the series before tuning into End of Evangelion, so they don't bother watching it. Except they should, because there's this scene at the end of episode 20. Which is very important because it's one of the last scenes we see Kaji, I think. Or maybe it's not really. I think the last scene in episode 21 is the last scene we see Kaji. But he's sleeping with Misato. And it's the night after Shinji finally got the fuck out of the LCL. You see, it's kind of a recurring theme for Shinji to get out of the primordial soup. apparently. In Death, this scene, they cut to the scene from the director's cut of episode 22, the scene where Asuka is with Kaji. She tries to seduce him, and Kaji says, "You know, you're just a schoolgirl. It's a crush. It's not love." And she's pretty adamant that it's love. Except I don't think it's love. Anyway, yeah. So that scene happens 2 days before the battle with Gagiel, and I feel like I've repeated that over and over and over again so much during the last couple of days. Because everyone's like, I'm gonna make some memes and some jokes and instrumentality. No. That's not the way it is, simply put. Yeah, because between those two scenes, there's a couple of cards that say 9 months earlier, this man, and some words in Japanese. There's something about seeing stuff. But yeah, that puts the scene with for second impact to happen, for third impact to happen in around New Year. The scene on the aircraft carrier should be in March, except it's in September, late in September. So that would put the battle against Zeruel in May, and the scene with Misato sleeping with Kaji in June, and the third impact in summer. But everyone seems to overlook Death. I mean, even without taking real dates, there's the death of Yui that happens in 2004, and that's an established fact because it's on her tombstone. And there's a scene where there's a the contact experiment, and still in Death, they cut to the scene in the cemetery. And I don't know in which order, because I've seen the movie like a month and a half ago, so obviously it's a bit blurry in my mind. But there's the card between those two scenes that says 12 years, something about 12 years. 12 years after 2004. However you want to put it, 12 years after 2004 is not 2015. It's 2016, and it's before the battle against Matriel, or Sarakiel. But it's a battle, and it's very important. And the Shinji talks with his father, so it's really important. I think it's against Sarakiel now that I think about it, because there's the battle against Matriel. Shinji tries to talk with his father, but his father says, yeah, if you want to say inane things, just please refrain from doing that, because it's not useful, you know, you're breaching security and stuff like that, just to talk with me, say that, yeah, nah, don't do it. And at any rate, it's really dangerous, it's a really dangerous thing to, no, it's not dangerous actually. No, it's worthless. But it's really weird to think, yeah, I can put in the middle of all that a trip to Antarctica, which is, I mean, there's 1 day between the time where the Over the Rainbow and the Pacific Fleet leaves the port of Sasebo to the point where they reach the port that's connected to Hakone, to Tokyo 3, and it's 1,500 kilometers by sea. By sea, Japan is 15,000 kilometers from Antarctica, which means that the trip to recover the length of Longinus would take 20 days, and you have to fit 20 days in 3 months. Hell, I mean, it's not even 3 months, it's a month and a half, because the Sandalphon is fought in the middle of October, and there's the whole month where Shinji is in the entry plug. So yeah, it doesn't work. Brain does not compute. And that's and with that, it's the few the few lacking things in the logic of yeah, Third Impact definitely happens on the new year, because obviously, I mean, sure, the first three angels attack in like the matter of 3 weeks, but then there's the whole end of July, the whole month of August, and almost the whole month of September where nothing happens besides the Jet Alone thing. You would think that maybe there's a lot of time between the attacks of angels and not just a week. I know that Zerel and Bardiel have 3 days between them, but that's an extreme case. And it's even said as so, because they're like, what, already an angel? What the fuck? If there's an angel every other week, they should not say, what, it's 3 days, already an angel. They were in a rush when there was 5 days between the two assaults on Israfel. And, suddenly 3 days, oh boy, we didn't expect that at all. Oh, a week, oh, they weren't like, yeah, the angels, they attack quite often. If this angel, we take 5 days to fuck it up, there might be another angel attacking. No, that's not a question in their mind, which makes me think that, well, it's just statistical outliers. Like me spending the New Year's Eve with my parents while my two sisters are out wherever. That's the third year in a row that it happens. I'd rather be the statistical outlier by being the one who is not here, but not by being the one who is here. I have nothing against my parents. They're pretty swell, but it's just, yeah, makes me think that I'm just worthless. That's not really cool. But anyway, yeah. That was just, I'm being a little bit of a prick about that, but it's because I'm a huge nerd, and sometimes you saying stuff and it doesn't flow well with me because it's dumb, makes no sense. Talking about Evangelion, I finally looked at the manga, and wow, it's taking some liberties with the plot. I mean, of course, you've got 94 chapters that came out in 20 years approximately. The run was the run of the manga was approximately 20 years. Means that there was a chapter every 2 months, 25 pages every 2 months. I mean, that's a mean. That's an average. But it's really weird because, if that was really the pace at which it was published, even though it started being published like a whole year before the anime started being broadcast, it still means that by the time the anime was over, I don't know, there maybe was 12 chapters out, and I'm being really, really, really kind, because 12 chapters, I think I remember chapter 12 being barely the time where they battle Gagiel, not Gagiel, the one that looks like a dick. Shamshel, the one between Sakiel and Ramiel. But yeah, or it's maybe the other way. You know, maybe Ramiel is between Sakiel and Shamshel. But yeah, anyway, they weren't, the manga wasn't very far, and I'm not complaining, but just yeah, it might be a loss of interest, even though they threw a quite the curveball in the very last chapter. But that's maybe because, you know, between then and now, I mean between the beginning of the manga and the end of the manga, there were also the movies and some new characters. So yeah, new stories being woven. Anyway, that's a new year, new me. I don't really believe in that because yeah, but you're just gonna go on with the same old life you had. Actually this year there's going to be a huge change in my life because in theory there's the end of my like 20 years in the educational system, and I'm gonna have to find a job. And yeah, that's a huge change. So yeah, this year, new me, but not before September. Boy, that's gonna take a while. I mean, if the right thing it would be, yeah, new year, new me, but with a little delay. You know, because sometimes you just have to push it away. Yeah, I don't believe in resolutions because nobody keeps them. I've read the resolutions of Mike Huckabee. That's ridiculous. That's bullshit. So anyway, thank you for watching. See you tomorrow, and of course, akamashite omedetou gozaimasu. That was the weebiest I've ever been, and in about an hour, because I posted akamashite omedetou gozaimasu, which is the way Karen from Kiniro Mosaic would have said it. Yeah, that was bad. Goodbye. God damn it, I'm such a big weeb.